Can you talk?
Yeah, I'm right
There
here.
we
Can
go.
you hear me?
I can hear you now.
There we go. Perfect. Finally. How you doing, bro?
I'm going good. It's going good. All right, so let's give this man a proper introduction. So this man is known for being one of the Kremling kings of Canada. Very strong competitor in his own right. Has his own Medify. Is a very good coach. I know personally from that. Please welcome and helping me welcome Knuckles Up. Welcome to the show,
What's up,
Knuckles.
guys? Thank you. Appreciate it. Happy to be here. And nice to get a slot on this because I've seen some of the other guys that you've been interviewing. So I'm in good company for sure.
Yeah,
So
it's
nice to
definitely
be
one
here.
of those things I like to spread it out with like some character specific people, commentators, TOs, one of those things. So
Sure.
I'm gonna get the arena up.
Cool.
Let's see if
Okay, now I gotta warn you in advance that I'm in my Toronto home now because I moved back home like a week or two ago.
okay.
And the internet here is not even close to as good as my internet at my former university house. So if we get lag, I'll blame 100% my Wi-Fi. It'll like 99% of the time be my fault. Okay, so
I'm
warning you in advance if we
I'm
lag
not worried
out.
about it. I'm not worried about
Okay,
it, man.
cool,
This is all about
cool.
giving you an opportunity to speak on your origins and stuff. It's not really about the gameplay.
Sure.
Gameplay is
Yeah,
just
I figured. I
background.
figured it was just secondary for it, but just in case, we
Yeah.
get some Wi-Fi shit, it's probably my fault, but
Worst case
ease what it is.
scenario, worst case scenario, we could always go to spectate smash. I've done a
Yeah.
couple interviews, so
Okay, yeah, I'm down. Cool.
all right. Let's see. The arena is CBL
hmm
V7.
V7?
Yes, is in
Okay.
victory, and the
Yep.
password 65.
65. Okay. Beautiful.
All right.
And that should be good.
All right. So let's start with the interview. Once he gets in the arena and we get the game started, then we'll start the interview. There he is.
I don't know why I was playing Piranha Plant last. I should probably probably change off of him.
Right.
Let me go. I'll go Caribou. I'll probably like if I get bored of him later, I'll probably start going some random ass characters.
Yeah,
But
you're
for now,
you're good, bro. You're
we
good.
can rock the
You
rule.
do what you gotta
I
do.
haven't played like K Rule in a hot minute. Like even in my most recent coaching sessions, I've been playing like different characters just to give my clients like more experience. So
That's
it'll be
fair.
fun.
That's fair.
Yes, sir.
So let's go ahead and start with your your region. Where are you from? Like I know where you're from. I said Canada,
hmm
but like let's say what region you are for the YouTube viewers, like just
Yeah, sure.
specifically.
So I am from Toronto, Ontario, which is easily like the best city in Canada for Smash, like without a doubt. And Ontario is one of the best regions too. I'd say it's better than BC. Depends on who you ask. BC will tell you it's better. Quebec thinks they're better, but they're not. But that's a discussion for a different day. But yeah, Toronto, and then I was also competing in London the last 4 years, like because I went to university there. So I was PR'd in London, Ontario, and then I compete in Toronto when I'm in Toronto. So yeah.
Okay, and what you said you were PR'd in London? What was your PR ranking in London?
So across my 4 years there, my lowest PR rank was ninth, and my highest was seventh, I think. But there's a PR about to come out now, and I should be fifth or sixth on that. So yeah, and then I also had when we did Wi-Fi PR for like when COVID was around, we could only do Wi-Fi tournaments. I was fourth on that one, so
Nice.
Wi-Fi doesn't count in my opinion. So that one's kind of different. Um, but on land, yeah, first place there was seven. But don't get it twisted. Like I'm not even gonna lie, I think London, Ontario is better than London, England, and I don't even think it's close. Like I think it's our sub-region like
Mhm.
is heavy hitters. I think you can go to London and we have a London versus London and crew battle, like London UK, and we beat them every day of the week.
Well, that's good that you got that kind of confidence in, your former region. That's one of those things. Who are some of the notable players that are from that region, for the viewers at home that might not be completely aware of what's going on with that
Yeah, sure.
region?
So number one in London is Burst, and Burst is has he's been number one in London for a while now. He also recently just took a monthly off Riddles in Toronto.
Nice.
So he double eliminated Riddles. I think Gourmet Clash or Gourmet Bash, like that was the name of the event. So like he's beating riddles, which is a big deal, to win monthlies in our province, which is awesome. So Burst is definitely number one. We have Orange, who has been Canada's best Link player forever since the game's come out. He's crazy good. And he also like he recently just came like top
Mm-hmm.
four at Happy Birthday, which was like a 200-person tournament in Ontario. We have Train, who's PR'd in the province. We have Nanaba, who's formerly PR'd in the province. We have yours truly, and I'm pretty good. And then we have a couple of up and comers. We have Vargoose, who is like definitely the best Rob in Ontario right now. We used to have like a huge Rob cohort in Ontario, and now it's basically like Vargoose is like the Rob to beat, which is pretty cool because the guy like not even like last year was like a huge Wi-Fi warrior, and now he's such a good player. So it's kind of funny to see his growth. And then you also got guys like Slime, and Slime is probably like the fourth best Bowser Jr. in the world, depending on who you ask. Um, so yeah, like super stacked region. I think these are guys who are like you put them in any city or even any like lower level state in the states, and they would easily be state PR'd. Let alone if you put them in a state like Tri-State or New York, New Jersey, shit like that, they'd easily find their way onto the PR as well. So
Okay.
it's like stacked talent, and of
Let's
course I'm there, so
yeah.
it's good.
All right, so let's go ahead and we've talked about your region a little bit. Let's talk about you some more. Obviously, this interview is about you and
Sure.
not your region. Uh, how long have you been competing for?
So I did pro level Call of Duty for 2.5 years. Don't jump. Oh, Fire Blaster, come on. I did pro Call of Duty for 2.5 years
Mhm.
before starting Smash Bros. And then I went to my first Smash Bros. Tournament in 2017. So like kind of in the tail end of my COD days. Like I've been playing Smash since I was a
Mhm.
kid. And I went to a tournament. I thought I was hot shit, and I got absolutely destroyed. Like I got my teeth fucking floored at that event. I got absolutely murdered. So I didn't go for a full year because I was like, damn, I'm ass. Like I didn't even want to go. And then I came back like a year later after I got into like my universities in my senior
Mhm.
year of high school. And then realized it was super fun, even though like I was kind of an O2er for like a full 2 years. Really fun experience, and I really liked the social element of it as well. So I started going more consistently after that. So I'd say since like 2019, I've been pretty consistent with it. And then Ultimate came out, and I've pretty much gone to every tournament I've been able to for Ultimate because I do really like this game. And I also love the fact that I have my character in here finally. So,
Right.
yeah, I think if I do like a total math here, I think 5 years in Smash Bros. Or 4.5 years in Smash Bros. And then 2.5, 3 in Call of Duty. But that just includes competing. Like, that doesn't include coaching because I've been coaching since 2016, 2017. So, yeah.
Nice. Nice. Having a well balanced, you know, play styles, coaching, kind of like trying to become the Renaissance man of, the day and age is one of those things I give a lot of props to because being a top player is hard, but let alone being a
Right.
top player or coach or anything like that, is hard in its own right as well. So props to
Right.
you.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you. Like even with coaching, like I find even this isn't even to throw shit on anyone who's on Metafy. Like I'm on Metafy, but there's a lot of people that are like really good players, and this doesn't even apply to Smash. This is like for all games, and they just can't coach because coaching is like a super hard thing to do. And there's also coaches who will never be as good as they are, coaches as they are players, right? So I think it's like a fine tightrope to walk. And I definitely think like my experiences from COD and playing at such a high level in COD have like prepped me well for situations like this. Like I don't think I'm like unreal by any stretch of the imagination. But I think like as far as the coaching goes, I think I'm really good at coaching. Um, and I think like give me more time at majors, and you might be able to see some damage.
Right? That's
Mm-hmm.
cool to know. What inspired you to start in esports?
Uh, that's a toughie. I feel like the first moment I ever knew of sort of like esports existing was like 2012, 2013, because there's this one clip from COD Black Ops 2, and it's like Optic Gaming, and they're playing on Yemen, which was like this map, and
Mhm.
they're playing this hardpoint map, and this guy named Scump, who's like a COD legend, basically is like screaming at the other team. And I remember this clip going viral as like a guy who just played like Call of Duty casually, like back in like the seventh grade. I was like, I saw this and I was like, this is the most fun shit I've ever seen in my life. Like I was like intrigued by it so much. I had no idea what it was or who this guy was, but I was like, I need to know more. And then from that point on, I started following COD esports. And I also followed Smash a little bit. Like I watched kind of like GR Smash and those guys back then. Like that was my way of learning about the community more. So I definitely figured it out that way. What got me inspired to sort of like start competing was Black Ops 3 came out in 2015, and I had always been like okay at Call of Duty. I was never like really good, and then Black Ops 3 came out, and I was just like a god out of nowhere. Like I don't know why. Yeah, I'm dead. I don't know why. I just got so good, so I started playing in like public matches, and I was like just shitting on people. Um, and then I was like, okay, like maybe I can try doing this at a higher level. And so I started with like arena play, and then I went to like GBs after UMGs, like all this tournament shit, and was able to do some damage after that. So it was kind of when I realized I was actually like pretty good at it. That's when I wanted to sort of like spread my wings and start trying it more. And then from that point on, I really developed a love for it. Whether it's for Smash or for COD, I just really enjoyed my time competing. And then Smash was more so like a passion game for me because I've been playing it for so long from such a young age. So I figured like I'd eventually go to a tournament. And what made me want to stick with it was just like exactly that. Like it's a super fun game to play, even if I don't think I'll ever be as good at Smash as I am at COD. Like I don't think I could play this game for another 10 years and ever touch the peaks I got at COD. Um, but it's a super fun game and the community is great, which is why I've been sticking with it through this whole time. So yeah,
That's cool. That's cool. Oh, this is not going good. This is the guy
you're doing
that.
better at this game. Oh fuck! No, I asked you 3 times that game. No, you hit me with the down tilt 2 times. So yeah, okay,
Yeah,
but we take those. We
yeah,
take those.
yeah. What are you known for up to this point in your career for esports?
Oh, like okay, competing wise, like I'll try and leave COD out of it just because obviously it's like a Smash focus thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because COD, I can go on and on about what I'm known for in COD, but for Smash, um, I'd say like obviously being best King K. Rool in Canada. There was a brief point where I wasn't. There was another K. Rool, Chad, who's a fucking pimp. I love him. And he was better for me than like a good period of time. And since quarantine happened, I was definitely the best in Canada on Wi-Fi during sort of like 2020. So that was the start of it for me, competing wise, like getting really, really good. And then when we came back from the pandemic and sort of like tournaments started happening again, I've kind of been the undisputed like best K. Rool in my province and in the country as well, which is really nice to see. So I'd say like definitely my achievements with K. Rool have been sort of like my highlight, because this was like my fucking character. Like I love him so much, and so to be considered a top rep with him is it's a big honor. Not to mention being the best in the country too. Like that's a big honor as well. So I'd say like character wise, that's definitely it. And then not to mention that like also a content perspective, like I uploaded a lot of content for a while, so I was definitely notable for my TikToks. Like that's kind of what got me off the ground in terms of like my following. Um, and then I also did Twitch streaming for a bit. I kind of realized it wasn't really for me, so eventually I quit it. But yeah, like I did enjoy my time doing that. So I'd say like accolades wise, like being the best King K. Rool in my country has helped me certainly. And then like content wise, I've definitely gotten some notoriety for the content that I've made.
I feel you. That's cool to hear. Everybody has what their accolades. The things that they want to rest their head on. So that's cool. Uh, let's finish this game and then we'll go to the next segment, which I think you'll
Beauty.
get some kick out of what we're gonna do.
Sounds good.
I hope so. It's something I've been trying to implement. It's new stuff all the time on this show. So like you can't
Cool.
like
Yeah, you
be
got to keep
stagnant.
innovating. You got to do new shit.
Yep.
Yeah, you're dead. Yeah.
All right. So this game is gonna be 2.5 minutes. It's a time crunch game. I'm gonna
Okay.
give you some I'm gonna give you some characters, and you're gonna
Okay.
tell me if they are overrated, they're underrated, or if they're just right.
Okay.
Okay?
Cool.
So you're gonna have about 15 to 18 characters that I'm gonna give you.
Oh,
Uh,
I'll murder this.
all
Oh
right, give
yeah.
me a
Okay.
second.
And you just want one word.
Yeah,
Do
wait.
you want me to elaborate at all, or you just want the one word?
Uh, it's whatever you want. If you
Okay.
feel like you can elaborate a little more, you can elaborate a little more whenever you're ready.
Sure. Sure.
Kirby.
Okay, let's run it. Kirby, perfectly rated. He's shit.
Yoshi.
Slightly underrated in my opinion. I think he's actually kind of scary, but also like he has some cheats, so he's not that great. But I think he's better than people make him out to be.
Lil Mac.
Underrated only because of Peanut and what he's doing with aerials. If it wasn't for Peanut and aerials, I would say perfectly rated.
Okay, Byleth.
That's so tricky. I feel like Leo's carrying that character so hard, so I'm gonna say perfectly rated only because of what Leo's doing.
Samus. I can't.
Underrated, like criminally underrated. That character's so good, and people don't believe it. Trust me, don't sleep on Samus.
All right. That was gross. Uh, Zero Suit.
Overrated. I don't think she's as good. I even didn't think that before they nerfed her, but like since the nerfs as well, she's definitely not been doing as hot. So I'm gonna say overrated.
That's fair. Mario.
Mario, perfectly rated. He's just good. He's a good character. He's not fun to play against at all.
Luigi.
Luigi, I think slightly. No, he's like so volatile on a tier list. Everyone either has him at like high tier or like low tier, and there's no in between. So I'm gonna say perfectly rated because no one can make up their mind about this character.
Bowser.
Slightly overrated. I think a lot of people are starting to realize that he's not that good because he was like kind of like upper mid for the bulk of alt, and now people are like, okay, wait, shit, he's not that good. He loses to a lot of characters. So I'll say overrated.
Ridley.
Criminally overrated, and I know people are gonna say he's already not considered a great character. I don't care. I think Ridley's like horrendous. I think Ridley's a really bad character, and people have him in like mid tier. He should be like bottom 10 minimum.
Donkey Kong.
DK, a little bit. Actually, no. I'll say perfectly rated. He's not very good, and I think people know that. So I'll say perfectly rated.
That's fair. Joker.
Joker, I'll say perfectly rated. I feel like most people have him in top three, and I feel like that's valid, even if I'm not sold on it or convinced on it. I think that's fair.
All right. Let's go. Corrin.
Corin. Okay, people are gonna say underrated because of like Leo picked them up recently. I personally think Corrin is not very good, even if Leo's
Mm-hmm.
playing her more. So I'm gonna say still overrated, just a little
Bayonetta.
bit though, not by a lot. Bale, fuck Bale. I'll say perfectly rated because I think she's like kind of like mid or upper mid tiers, but like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of characters are really good in this game. I think you can put her honestly a lot of places on the tier list, and I'd be okay with it. So
Nice.
I'll say perfectly rated.
Nice. You came right in within time. That Bayo was the
Duty.
last one.
Fuck Bayo. Can't stand that character. Like I don't mind her as much, and actually I kind of preferred her in Smash 4 just because like that matchup was not that bad. I kind of liked playing it,
Mm-hmm.
but just because I play a character that loses so hard to her, wow, not fun. I went from being a Mario main in the last game to having an even matchup, and then in this game losing like -3 to that fucking character. Stupid Bayo, hater.
Yeah, I could feel you. So let's talk about
Yeah.
you'd mentioned at the beginning it was something that you feel like you're most proud of, well, known for at this point would be your TikTok fame. Let's talk about that a little bit. Like, where did that start? Like, why did that come like become your fancy like stuff like that?
Sure, yeah. So it came about in kind of like pandemic days. I had run a tournament where one of the prizes for the tournament I ran was like the guy who won that prize got to give me like a task to do, and then he asked for a 5 second video of me like doing a POV of K. Rool's down smash, like just as like a kind of like meme joke video. And so I did it, but I didn't want to like upload it to my computer from my phone and then edit it in Final Cut, which is what I do normally with videos. So I just downloaded TikTok because I was like, okay, I can just edit it like in 2 seconds because TikTok's editing platform is actually pretty solid. Um, so I downloaded TikTok and made this like stupid 5 second video, sent it out, and then after I did that, I just started using the app more, and I kind of liked it. I won't lie, like I was a pretty big TikTok hater, and I realized why so many people are on it because it's kind of addicting. And then I started making them because I really noticed like there wasn't anyone doing competitive Smash TikToks.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd seen the occasional like random person on my For You page being like, oh, when you're playing Smash Bros with your cousin and he pulls out this guy and it's just like a picture of Fox and it's supposed to be like, whoa, like this guy's a tryhard. Like that's the joke, I guess. But it's for people who just like don't play the game and who are kind of like scrubby, so they have like their own sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
But there wasn't a single person like kind of touching like this competitive niche. So I figured like, okay, like why not be that guy? So I uploaded my first one, and at the time when I uploaded that video, I only had, I want to say, like 400 followers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and my normal tweets were getting like 30 likes, 20 likes, like
Nice.
nothing big. And then that video got like 100, and I was like, oh, okay, like people kind of like it. Like I wasn't planning on keeping with
Mm-hmm.
it. And then that one did well. I uploaded another, it got 100 likes. And then like the fourth one I uploaded, or like the third one, I can't remember. But like one of the first ones I uploaded got like 2,000 likes. And I was like,
Nice.
oh shit, okay. So like it kind of, for my size, blew the fuck up. It didn't even come close to my most viewed or my most liked TikTok, like at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day. But it like blew up, and I was like, okay, people like them. So I just said, okay, screw it. Like I have a ton of ideas. I'm just gonna start uploading one of these one a day, and then go from there. Like if people like them, I'll keep doing them. If not, then I'll stop making them. And the numbers just kept coming in. So I went from like 400 followers to 4,000 in about the span of like a year, which was pretty cool. And I made like a lot of them, and then it just kind of like fizzled out because I find I just wasn't enjoying it. Um, and so I realized it like kind of wasn't the route, like it wasn't for me. But like at the end of the day, it was a
Mm-hmm.
fun ride like while I was doing it. But that's sort of like how it started, and then that's kind of like why I continued it, just because like the numbers were pulling in really really well, so I wanted to continue that.
That's fair. That's fair. That's cool to hear that you found like this overnight success in TikTok, and then like kind of ran for it for a little bit. So that's always cool when
Yeah, it's a nice feeling for sure.
yeah.
Like having anything of yours blow up on like Twitter or TikTok or like any social media is always a nice feeling.
Yeah. I feel you. I feel you. I haven't gotten that feeling yet, but I had a couple tweets that did pretty decent, but like not like, oh, they're viral tweets or anything like that. Nothing for
Sure.
me like special, but you know.
I feel like if you understand like the algorithms and shit like that, it makes it a lot easier. So like I find like realistically anyone can do it if they just put out the right thing at the right time, which is, I know, kind of crazy to say for a lot of people. Like when they think about it, they're like, "There's no way I could hit a tweet that has 10,000 likes," but like it's definitely more feasible than I think a lot of people think. But still, yeah, like I get it. It's also a cool feeling. Like I won't lie, like the dopamine's definitely there. Social media is like addicting like that, where you see 10,000 people liking some shit, and then makes you want to keep uploading more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's something that hit the main waves a couple of days ago, and I was gonna get your opinion on it because this is a perfect time for that. Is the Gimmer Tech? What were your thoughts on like how that situation came about and like how it was handled and what your thoughts on the tech overall was?
I'll start with my thoughts on the tech because I feel like that's an easier question to answer.
Right.
I think just frankly, it's useful. I think how useful will it be? Like we'll see. I think it'll definitely create some sort of skill gap because if somebody wants to learn it, like there's been some clear videos on Twitter where
Mhm.
I've been like, oh shit, okay, like this is kind of dumb. Like with certain characters, like
Right.
like Shulk with speed art, Sheik. Like I'm looking at anyone with speed, I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, this is kind of threatening. And like even for our slow ass character, I feel like there's definitely application with like forward air movement. Like I even saw a
Mhm.
video last night from Kirby Kid who I think was lobbing it out. I haven't personally tried it myself, so I'll obviously have to try it myself before I can really make any calls on it. But I saw Kirby Kid using it, and I was like, okay, like I was already doing retreating fares beforehand, but this is sort of like another level to that. And I feel like if it becomes something that we can do consistently, then I think like, yeah, it could definitely be useful. So I think like overall the tech is definitely good. Um, Now I'll answer the other one because it's a bit tougher to answer that question. What a weird situation. First of all, I think it just shows how I think both sides are valid or like wrong, I guess. I think that this clearly shows to me how much Smashers care about shit that's like really not a big deal. Um, like yes, the guy like basically hyped some shit up only to milk it and then not release it because of whatever. I don't really know the exact reason why he chose not to release it. I think it was like he was busy or some shit and then just tech difficulty, whatever. Really not a big deal. And it kind of just shows that Smashers care way too much about that shit, man. Like it's not that deep, and he uploaded it
Yeah.
like a day later. So I personally say no harm, no foul. Um, like obviously if it was intentional, like for him to just kind of like milk some views or whatever, then yeah, like kind of grimy, but also like who cares, man? It's the internet. Like
He's
get
getting
over it.
he's getting his bag. Like, don't be mad about that.
Like
Like,
that's the thing. Like I really don't care, and he still dropped it. Like I would understand more if he was like sort of gatekeeping it to like a select amount of people
all right,
who are like his boys or whatever. Like I would get it at that point. Like oh, he's being a dick, and trying to capitalize off of like people wanting to know more about the game. Like at that point, I'd be like, okay, sure, like not a nice thing to do. But like he still dropped it, and I don't care if he got views for it. I think that's a good thing, if anything. The one thing I did think was a little bit weird is he kind of like announced his invitational like yesterday, so I think clearly like the timing of this was entirely just to capitalize off of that because he wants the most traction coming to his Twitter page possible for when people what's it called, for when people like go to the
right.
invitational store, so that like people come for the tech and then realize, oh, he's hosting this invitational with all these top
Mhm.
players, therefore he's bringing in all that traction to that Smash GG page where they can like buy merch and stuff like that. So the timing obviously was definitely some sort of advertising marketing ploy by him, which I mean, kudos to Gimmer. He's a smart guy. I would have done the
Right.
same thing if I was dropping a tournament. Like, you can call it grimy if you want. I, at the end of the day, think it's really not a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think people should go outside more if this is something that really
Touch
affects them.
grass.
So, not even touch grass, like maybe touch pavement. It doesn't even need to be grass, bro. Like, it can be anything. But holy, like, I was seeing some shit that was like Gimmer should be canceled because he lied to the Smash community. I'm like, bro, you lied about a tech crime or whatever. Like,
He's not
holy, like
doing. He's not.
you're not gonna start going 3-2 because of Gimmer's tech, man. You're still gonna be a wash 1-2er. Like, it's really nothing's gonna change. Okay, like it. Oh my goodness, I was actually like, I didn't really want to engage with it because I've fallen in that trap before with Smash Twitter. It's just like you can't
Mhm.
win. Like it's just an argument over nothing, and it's such a weird niche community too. Like because I'm involved in like both the Smash and the COD community, and even the Hearthstone community to a certain extent. I find this is the only community where like shit like that really matters so much, man. Like it could be in COD, and I wouldn't give a single fuck. Like if someone said they discovered new slide canceling tech and they're not sharing it, I'd say that's a competitive advantage. Like I'll
Yeah.
be honest, if I found Gimmer's tech and I was Gimmer, I would not share it. He was being a nice guy by sharing it. Like
Right.
I think competitively, if you want to be the best player and you have an advantage like that, then why would you want to share it with the rest of the world? So I think if anything, people should be thankful, no matter how delayed this announcement was. I don't care. Touch grass, excellent statement to make.
Yeah. People just like get in their own feels when it comes to like just how things are on social media, which I can't lie, I kind of got in that trend when my depression was getting the better of me like
Sure.
half a year ago. So like one of
Mm-hmm.
those things like yeah, I know where they're coming from, but like there's still got to be a stance where like
Yeah.
you have to like put things aside and like hey, this is social media. People are going to hide behind the wall and be cowards when they can, and like if you approach them in person about it, they're not going to say anything about it. So it's one of those things.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I like tweets from both sides when that shit was going down just because like I just like shit that was funny. I saw some stuff like making fun of like,
Hmm.
how far away the lab is from wherever Gimmer is right now, and I thought that was funny. Like even if I agree or don't agree with it, I was liking shit like that. And I was, oh, I'm down to play on the stage. I was
The
I was
Smash
also liking
Dojo.
shit that was just like shit that was kind of like in support of him too. Like it's not that big of a deal. It ain't that deep. But I find like that's honestly a byproduct of kind of Smash as an esports scene. And this is gonna sound like very like I guess kind of maybe reading too far into it, but as someone who's been in and around multiple esport communities, I can definitely say that like Smash is definitely more of a almost like a I'm not gonna say 9 to 5, but a lot of people treat this as like their primary friend group or their primary social circle. There's a lot of people that like going to tournaments is like their Friday night. right? Whereas a lot of like people who don't compete and stuff like this, their Friday night is like going to the bar and stuff like that. So it's almost like when you have people who are like that, when someone like this doesn't drop like
Mm-hmm.
information that to me is really not a big deal because I like this community isn't as important to me as like walking my dog, for example. You know what I mean? Like I just have more things going on in my life, which I guess is the reason why I don't really give a shit. But that's why a lot of people care as much as they do about little shit like that, which to me
Mm-hmm.
means nothing. But like, you know, when you go to a tournament 4 times a week and that's your primary form of social interaction, like I get it. Still think it's stupid, but I get it.
Like, just don't try to take things as harshly and know that there's other things out there that you can primarily focus on to try to get some interaction.
Exactly.
If you are getting interaction from them, that's good. If you're not, that's
Mm-hmm.
fine. Same
No, I
thing.
agree. Like, definitely not as big of a deal as people ought to make it.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's cool tech. So that's the bright side of it, I guess. It's a niche little interaction. I think it'll be useful. I think people will bust it out in games. I think people will start to learn it, and I think those who do learn it will see like good benefit from it. So we'll see. I don't know
We
like how much it'll change
yeah.
like the tier list or like the meta necessarily because I think like every character can do it even if some characters are like harder or worse at it than others. Like I saw something today that said like Rob isn't as good at doing it as other characters are, but I don't think that'll make Rob any worse. I just think in like micro interactions of a game, like Rob will get hit with some shit he wouldn't get hit with before. So that's just another way of looking at it, I guess.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about your Metafy. Obviously, I know you're a Metafy coach because you coached me before.
Yes, sir.
What what benefits do you see in like being a Metafy coach on your end? And like, do you like what do you see like the benefits from people who don't have like never been coached or are possibly looking to maybe get better at their specific game? Like, what kind of how would you go about speaking about that for as a perspective
Yeah.
of a coach?
So I think, well, for one, just being on Metafy is a great time. I said it earlier, but I've been coaching much longer than I've been on Metafy. Like I started coaching in like 2016, 2017. But I started on Metafy, I believe, good wait. I started on Metafy, I want to say like late 2020. Yeah, it was like December 2020 when Metafy reached out to me and wanted me to coach for them. So that I think I've been on them for like 2.5 years now. um, no, 1.5. Yeah, like 1.5 years now. I've been on Metafy. Great platform, and also really good like back end shit. Like the CEO's a really nice dude. The community team there is fantastic because they like want the coaches to like succeed, and so it's a really fun place to kind of get to coach. And the bright side for me as a coach, this isn't like player specific. This is like me specific. Is that obviously it like gives me exposure to like new clients I wouldn't otherwise get off of Metafy. So like for example, like I have clients who reach out for me just for like DMs on Twitter, or I've even gotten clients before like just by playing the game, like for COD, for example. Like I'll play against an enemy team, and then you know they want coaching because of that. So that's one thing. Like there's a bunch of ways to get coaching, and obviously word of mouth. But like
Mm-hmm.
Metafy is another outlet for me to be able to get clients, which is really nice. So as a coach, I do love it. As far as like the player side of it goes, I think like literally everyone can benefit from having the right coach, and I don't even think it's like up for discussion. Um, and I think the best example, the best way to frame it, like let's go back to pretty much everyone start with this game because there's very few people that were immediately amazing at this game or
Mm-hmm.
any Smash for that matter right when they started. And what 99% of people do when they lose at that skill level is ask for advice. And that's literally the start of it. And that's a micro form of coaching, which it literally is, right? Because you're asking other players to kind of pinpoint your weaknesses so you can get better. And that's exactly what I did. Like when I was starting this game, boy, I was shit. I was awful. I was really bad. I was an O2er for like 2 years. And I asked literally everyone and their moms, like, hey, how can I improve? And you know, the more people you ask, the better you'll get at that game. So even if it's little things like that, you're getting better for sure. But there's a lot of people too that like are really good players, and then they get a coach or even just someone to look at their VODs, look at their gameplay, and they'll notice shit that they didn't notice because like a fresh perspective is really at the end of the day what you're getting. And it's the same reason why you get people to like proofread your essays in like high school and college. It's because like you will not notice things about your own writing that other people will notice. So when you get someone else to look at your gameplay, you're not kind of tunnel vision into seeing what you normally see. So it's
Right.
definitely an opportunity for you to get more experience that you wouldn't otherwise get if you were just looking at yourself. So I'd say that to everyone, like literally every skill level, any game, it doesn't matter what game, doesn't matter what skill level. You can benefit from having a coach in your corner, and obviously there's right coaches for people, there's wrong coaches for people, and if for Smash specifically, I don't even think a character coach is relevant. Like I have people that book me because I play K Rule and they want to learn more about K Rule, or people who want to learn how to play better against K Rule. Like I've had that happen a lot. But I also have clients who are just like they don't play K Rule, they have no interest in K Rule, they just want to get better, and like so it doesn't even need to be like a character specific thing. Like find a coach or find a buddy that you like gel with a lot, and use them as like your tool to get better at the game. So that's what I would say for sure. But yeah, like everyone can benefit from it. I'd highly recommend it. And obviously, like you and I coach before, so feel free to gas me up in these, talks. When you're talking about coaching, you can just slide them the old Metafy code.
Oh my God, I didn't know that you were gonna hit that, but okay, I'm not mad. But yeah, definitely can say that I benefited directly from KnucklesUp's coaching because I'm a decent player, but like one of those things, like he pointed out a lot of things. And after I got coached by KnucklesUp, I actually got my a couple of my first few PR wins that I have under my belt.
Killer.
So that was one of
It's
those
killer.
things. Like he helped me with those, which was funny because it was Mega Man and Wolf. So
Hmm.
yeah, definitely one of those things. Like coaching can help you. That's one of those things.
Definitely does.
All right,
Definitely.
we talked about some cool things, the positives. With every positive, there's always a negative. What are some of your opinions on the current Smash scene? What can you, in your opinion, what would you like to change about how things are ran right now? And what would you like? What are some of the controversial things that you think that need to be changed?
Okay, I'd say for one, like I feel like if you had interviewed me a year ago, I'd have a lot more to say just because of how much shit was going on in this community. So like I'm kind of happy because we're in a place right now that's significantly better than what it was a year ago, like when the pandemic was happening. Because that was some messed up shit. So I'm really happy. Like a positive for sure is that I'm happy we've come a far way since those moments because those were really really bad. So that's definitely a positive, and I think TOs have done a fantastic job of like accounting for that. And trying to make tournaments like a more welcoming space for everyone, and that's a really good thing. I'd say I have like a couple of like small things that I would love to change about the community if I could. I still think like smashers are overwhelmingly too soft, and I don't mean that in like I'm not trying to be an asshole, but it's also like people will get mad over nothing about this game. Like it is a competitive environment, and I feel like if I could change one thing about the entire community, it would be to understand that regardless of why people come to tournaments, regardless of why you come to tournaments, at the end of the day, it's inherently a competitive environment. So if people want to play competitively, like back to that Gimmer thing, if Gimmer didn't want to share that information because he's a top player, or sorry, like a top person, and has access to top players who would give him money for that information, or they're his boys and he wants to see them succeed, I wouldn't hold it against him because at the end of the day, it's a competitive environment. So I think like people need to understand that. In pretty much every circumstance, and that applies whether it's things like Gimmer or whether it's actually like at physical in-person tournaments. Like if I want to shit talk
Mm-hmm.
people, I feel like I should be allowed to just because it's a tournament. So I think like that's a super micro thing. I feel like that would just be a nice mentality shift to see. Because a lot of people need to just kind of lighten up a little bit when it comes to shit like that. So that's my 2 cents. But then one more thing. This is like again, this is like super super specific, and I was kind of pissed off by this. Um, it happened at I think it was Genesis, that tournament where they had one of these artist booths where they were
Mm-hmm.
literally like selling porn. I'm not even kidding. It was
Yo,
like
yeah.
anime asses everywhere, bro. And I saw that. It like pissed me off so much because I feel like we've done so much work from like that 2020 year, and then like
Mm-hmm.
shit like this is just like a step in the wrong direction for me personally. Um, like I don't even mean that as shade to like the artists because the
Right.
artist fine. Like the artists did their work. They came and they were allowed to sell there. And no one told them they couldn't, right? So I'm not even mad at the artists. I just think like that shit shouldn't be allowed to be displayed at a tournament where like I've been to majors before. I've been to a ton of majors and like there's like straight up little kids there. There's people with their parents. Like there's people who are there who don't know about the community, and like I feel like as outsiders coming in, we should try and put our best foot forward for those people who are new to the scene. Because even me, like when I started my first tournament, I was 16 years old and my parents were already like iffy about it, about me going to like in-person events, because they were just like, it's, you know, it's a competitive environment, there's gonna be a lot of people there, like,
Mm-hmm.
then they always trusted me. But it's like I don't want a situation where you have some 14-year-old who's new to the scene and it's his first big event, and he goes with his dad or something, and then there's literally just anime porn on the fucking walls.
Yeah.
Like it's not. And even me as an adult, I don't want to be seeing that shit. So I can't even imagine how, you know, someone's mom might feel if they walk
Right.
in and see that shit. So I feel like that's not even, again, that's not even directed at that artist at all who made those prints. That's entirely directed at TOs that allow that to happen. And I feel like that's like my one gripe. Again, that's like super specific because I feel like the community actually overwhelmingly is in a pretty good place right now. Definitely better than a couple years ago. So
Yeah.
I just want to see that like micro shit changed, and then once we change that, I feel like we're off to the races, honestly.
Yeah, and stop complaining when Nintendo doesn't give us the money, because like it's one of those things like, yeah, it'd be nice to have the backing of Nintendo, but, and hit the big but, like, so
We don't.
Nintendo's gonna want their tournament the way it's ran, the way they want it. So if we had Nintendo's backing on that, right, they
Mm-hmm.
would want their tournament the way they want it. They would want their rules, they would want their stages, everything else. And I don't think people actually want that. They just want the money. But
They
they
want
don't
money,
realize that
exactly.
Nintendo would be the people like, hey, we need these stages played, we need items on, Final Smash meter, like this kind of stuff. I don't think they would
Yeah,
give us free whim on it.
my thing about that whole like Nintendo like money thing is that I understand why people are upset that it's not a thing, but also I feel like people need to accept that it's just not a thing.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to support the scene. And I feel like we've tried relentlessly for the last 20 years, especially shout outs to Melee community. They've been the ones pioneering that. And now even in Ultimate, we're carrying over that torch to a certain extent. It's
Mhm.
definitely still happening more with Melee and PM and P Plus and things of that nature. But that's just Nintendo. And I feel like people got to accept that. And I feel like at the end of the day, it's a grassroots community. Like there's nothing really that you can do about it right now. Like we're trying our best, but like if it doesn't get fixed, you can't be mad about what you can't change. So I feel like that's my take on it. Would I love to see it happen? Absolutely. Is it going to happen? Probably not. Um, but you know, who knows? Like maybe that Panda Global thing might actually happen. Who knows? I doubt it, but we'll see.
That's another thing people don't realize is that they're like, when it comes to the Nintendo thing, they've already helped us a couple times,
Whoa.
and they got to realize that you know, we've kind of already kind of blown that on their end, because like the tournaments that we ran and they sponsored us, like nothing bad happened, yes, but
Oh
then
yeah.
things happened like a couple weeks after that happened, and that they're not
Hmm.
gonna get that negative publicity. So maybe once,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Honestly,
we,
I can't blame them even wanting to give anyone in the community money after the entirety of 2020.
right.
That's like a sponsorship nightmare. Like there was news articles like Smash players being outed for being pedophiles. Like that literally kills sponsorship for major events. So like I can't blame them. At the end of the day, like people also forget Nintendo's a company. They're not a charity that makes video games for us to play. At the end of the day, they're in it to make money. You know, do they make a creative product for it? Yes. And like we love this product, but at the end of the day, it's they're there to make money. And if we're not bringing in bills, if we're not profitable for them, or if we're a bad image for them, why would they want to associate with us? So I can't blame them.
I can't either, but it's one of those things. With getting that slight tidbit out of the way, let's do the funnest question of the whole, I would say, podcast interview kind of thing. I don't. It's like a hybrid, like, right? We could do our own kind of like interview. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I'm a K Rule main, right?
Yep.
I've been a K Rule main since day one, and
Mm-hmm.
K Rule's best neutral tool, and a lot of people's opinion, is Crown. It's so the crowning achievement, right? The marquee of the show. The reason why
Mm-hmm.
I made it in the first place. What would be your crowning achievement? Something that you could put on your head, say, hey, this is my thing. It could be a tournament placing, it could be wins, it could be something you're just really proud of that you would want to say, this is what I can rest my head on, you know?
Sure. I think like it's a good question because I think of a lot of things that come to mind. Like I think from a personal level, I have like a lot of wins on a lot of people that are really good players. And those come to mind immediately, like to me, JW, like all those guys who I've beaten. That always comes to mind. It's a sense of accomplishment for me when I beat players of that caliber.
Hmm.
Um, so that's something for me. That's like definitely a personal win. I'd say more so than that, being the best in the country with the character means more to me than, beating any one particular person. That was my goal when I started playing in Ultimate because I said, like, if they put K. Rool in, no matter how bad he is, I am going to main him, like, whether I like him or not. Like, because he was my most I wanted character. Like, DKC2 is one of my favorite games ever. I
Hmm.
grew up on Donkey Kong Country. So I was like, okay, if they put him in, I'm maining him no matter what. And they put him in, and I was like, I want to be the best character. I want to be the best K rule in Canada, and I set out and I made that a goal, and I made it happen. I lost it, and then I got it back again. So I'd say, like, for me, that's a big deal. And then I'd say more specifically, this is probably like my favorite thing about me as a player is like I kind of mentioned it earlier, but I'd like definitely talk shit at tournaments. Like I get that from my COD days for sure. That I'm an asshole. Like I'm a huge dick at tournaments, and it's entirely for competitive reasons. It's not because I actually like have animosity towards any one person in particular, or like I have bad blood with people. Because actually, like the people around me, they know me as like a really nice, really loyal, down to earth person. But then I go in tournaments and I'm like a whole different animal, and that's just because I'm doing it for competitive advantages. And I kind of like being known as Ontario's villain to a certain extent. Like a lot of people in Ontario don't like me for that reason because I'm super arrogant when I compete. And again, it's entirely for competitive reasons, but I feel like every scene kind of needs that because I feel like if you don't have that, you get complacent. And also, you're not prepared when you go out of region and you have to take on other regions that do talk shit. So you need a person like me in your region to put up with. So then when you go to bigger events, I'm not a threat to our community. like
Right.
like we'll have other assholes from other regions talking shit, but that's why when we go to an event out of region, then I'm now on your corner and now I'm fighting for you, which is a big difference than me talking shit to you. Having me in your corner is a really good thing. Having me talking shit to you is not a fun thing to have to deal with. So I'd say like those three things, but I'd say most of all, like right now, I'm still known for my shit talk, my antics whenever I compete, and I honestly love that because I think everyone needs that. So I feel like if I stop competing today, I'll definitely just be remembered as the shit talker, that K rule who talked an absurd amount of shit, and I'm okay with that, and I really like that. So yeah, that's probably my crowning achievement, being an
uh,
asshole at tournaments.
that's fine. You know, everybody
Yep,
has their own thing. You
their
know, their
own
own
thing
niche.
exactly.
It's
Yep.
different strokes for different folks. Uh,
Yes, sir.
so we're gonna run another friendly. During this period of the stream, we're gonna go ahead and open up to our fans at home that are watching the current stream, or anybody. If you have any kind of questions or concerns that you would like to bring up to Knuckles Up, this is your time. While we're running this particular friendly, if you guys, I'll wait for questions to come through. If nothing comes through, then he'll still be answering my question while we're there. This is like the Blasters dojo, though. So, and my camera
Cool.
died. Yeah. But what kind of do you have any kind of advice for the new player that could be watching this at home from YouTube? Like the new player, the new caster, like the fans, the competitors that want to get into this game. Do you have any kind of advice for them?
Yeah, I have. Okay, so the easiest advice if you're someone who wants to get into content or casting, it is like upload a lot and it is apply yourself everywhere you can and don't expect to get money right away, but offer to work. What the? Whoa, did you just see that, by the way?
Yeah.
What? Wow. Okay, I don't know how that happened. That was like the wildest glitch I've ever seen. Okay, if you want to be a caster, a content creator, or even like a graphic designer, apply yourself a lot and ask a lot of places to work for free, cast for free, work for free, and you will build up a reputation from that and a resume from that, and then you'll be able to start like charging for your worth,
Hmm.
and you'll able to acquire sponsorships if you're someone who's into content. Because for example, like if you're a caster, like go to every weekly you have and offer to cast for free. Any tournament that you go to, just hop on the mic. If it happened again, wow, this is so weird. But if they have an open mic, go ask to be on open mic. Same thing. If you're a graphic designer and you want to break out, like go to a weekly series and say, hey, you have a top 8 graphic. If they say no, offer to make theirs for them for free. And you'll start getting work right away just because of things like that. So if you want to do more content, graphic side, casting side, just apply yourself as much as you can. As far as competing goes, if it's K rule specific, don't landing there as much as you do currently. That's advice number 1. Advice number 2 is run away. And advice number 3 is stop jumping as soon as you get hit. Do those 3 things, and I guarantee you'll go from an O tour to a 1 tour immediately. Okay? You'll have to start building up to get to a 2 tour, but I guarantee you follow those 3 steps, and you'll go from O2 to 1-2 immediately. But as far as like in general, same thing as a caster and content creator, but just in the sense of a player. Go to literally every tournament you possibly can. Any opportunity you have to play LAN or even Wi-Fi, like just do it. Because you cannot get better at something if you don't practice. Like practice makes perfect, and there's no difference for this game either. Like I have people that I know that like there's usually amateur brackets at tournaments, right? And they'll go compete and they'll show up and they say, oh, I'm kind of only thinking of playing in amateurs. And it's like, well, why would you play in just amateurs if you're trying to get better when you can play in main bracket, play people who are better than you, get your ass kicked, and then learn something from it, and then play in amateurs and get even more experience. So for me, it's still like play as much as you can and like really apply yourself that way. And simply put, just ask every single person for advice, even if you beat them. Say, hey, did you notice anything about my gameplay that was off or like that you felt like was easy to exploit? But especially do that for people who are better than you. Do that for people who are whooping your ass, like six talking you, and you don't know what to do. They'll give you advice, and then if you just soak that information up, I guarantee you'll start getting better immediately. So yeah, super simple advice, but it works. Oh, and also like side advice, but just book me on Metafy, and you'll get better.
Book him on Metafy. I
Book me on Metafy, and you will get better.
But yeah, it doesn't look like we had any questions coming through at the moment. That's fine. It happens. Do you have any features, events, or anything coming up that you would like to?
Yeah, I have. I'm going to the Rot 6 Arcadian probably at the end of the month, so that I have to reg for as soon as possible. I will be going to Gommel, so I will. If anyone's there, come find me. You'll see me there. I'll be wearing a tank top probably, and I'll be really loud. So that's how you can come find me. If you're looking for KnucklesUp, just look for the guy who's being really loud. That'll be me. And then I'm hoping to go to SmashCon. That would be awesome if I could. It's kind of wishful thinking right now for me, just because it's super far away and also for work purposes. But SmashCon and then also Battle of BC I might be going to as well. So Battle of BC, Gommel, SmashCon are like region or majors that I'll probably be attending if I can. And then monthly coming up, Arcadian. And then, yeah, I'll probably put a hold on weeklies just for a bit because I've started work. So like obviously weeklies aren't really any big events, so it's nothing to stress about. But this is also this is COD thing. I will be going to the CDL Major 3, and I will have VIP access. So if anyone's going to that, which I highly doubt anyone watching the stream is going to that, but if you're going to that, come find me there too, and I'll hook you up.
Nice. That's quite a bit of stuff coming up for you.
Oh yeah, I'm a busy guy.
I'm hoping for myself for SmashCon. Gommel would be out of the question for me because I am a stupid American and don't have my passport. So I'm working on trying to get the passport thing figured out, but at the time being, that's a no. But
gotcha.
Maybe when was Gommel?
Gommel is July 1st to July 3rd.
Oh, yeah, that's not going to happen then for Gommel this year, but maybe next year because passports are usually good for like 5 years or something. So
yeah.
But yeah, definitely one of those things, like, eventually he's going to get to meet me one of these days. See, it's not him, it's not me meeting him, it's him meeting me. That's the whole thing. No, I'm joking. Do you have any shout-outs you'd like to do at the promote, or things you'd like to promote at this time?
Yeah, I'll make a couple of K-Rule shout-outs because this is like a K-Rule podcast at the end of the day. I'll shout out Kirby Kid for carrying the fuck out of our character. That'll be number one. I'll shout out the entire state of Louisiana as well, except for Yat, because that guy, I think I live in his head rent free still. Talk shit to that guy like one time, and he's still mad at me. But otherwise, the rest of Louisiana is pretty chill. And then shout outs to Charm, because Charm's like kind of like my favorite like K Rule at the moment. Because I feel like that guy's made like such tremendous strides. So I'll shout out Charm, but also in that same breath, I got to shout out King Robo, and I got to shout out Copel as well for the waves that he's been making, and also too, I think the most improved K Rule is probably Tropical, and people sleep on Trop super hard. So I got to shout out Trop as well. So those are like all the K Rule boys, and of course I can't forget Chad, my Canadian homie. So yeah, that's all the K Rule do shout outs in order. As far as like other people go, I'll shout out Slime because he's my boy. So if Slime ever watches this, he'll know he's my boy, but he already knows that, so we're chill. And I'll say fuck you to Salim. It's okay. Salim's one of my besties, so he'll take that with a grain of salt. But fuck you, Salim. And yeah, we'll leave it at that for shout outs.
That's fair. You know, this is my chance to be kind of sentimental. So like, when I first picked up K Rule, right, which was at the beginning of Ultimate, I was looking for K Rules that I could find that I could try to imitate my play after. And you were definitely one of them. You and Kirby Kid were definitely those guys.
Come
Like,
on, don't make
no,
me blush. Don't do that.
no, it's not like a
Oh my
blush thing,
gosh.
but like
No, I'm
legitimately, like,
blushing. That's what I'm saying. You're making me smirk.
but yeah,
Oh
like one of
man.
those things,
Thanks,
like,
bro.
yeah, like, you know, my K roll still isn't, you know, the best. A lot of people meme on me because, like, I'm the number one in my city, and then they're like, he's the number one in Abilene. Like, whoa, like, that's something
Yeah.
not to be proud of, but, like, I am, but, like, still, like, I'm trying to get my K roll better and one of those things, and you guys were the ones. Kirby Kid was the one that inspired me to keep playing the character because I wanted to drop him when Joker came out. And then you
hmm
were like the one that's kind of helped me improve my skill with the character. So, and
Yeah, I mean,
that's not
like,
done by any means, but
no, definitely. Like, even in the time I've met you, I feel like you've improved significantly. Like, the first session I ever had with you, like, I won't lie, like, I was like, damn, we need to work. And then we did get to work, and you got better, like, immediately. Um, and I mean, now, obviously, like, while we're playing this, obviously, it's a podcast. It's not a coaching session. I have, like, 100 things in my head that, like, you could be doing better. But the last time we did a session, it was, like, 500 things. You know, you're improving steadily for sure. So don't sleep.
oh yeah, exactly. Never, you can always get better.
Exactly.
Where can we find you at? Like socials and stuff.
For social media, for Twitter, it's ITS Knuckles Up. I say it's Knuckles Up, and then people just put Knuckles Up because they think I'm saying like, oh, it's Knuckles Up. So it's ITS, like it's Knuckles Up, and then it's the same thing on Instagram. So if you have Instagram, go follow me there as well. YouTube, I do not upload anymore, but I have like a bunch of old content, and that's just Knuckles Up, so no ITS at the front. And then TikTok is also just Knuckles Up, so no ITS at the front. But I'm mostly active on Twitter and occasionally on Instagram. So Twitter is probably like the number one.
Nice, nice. That's good. I want to appreciate your time and everything. It's Knuckles Up. Great time to have you on the show.
Thanks, boss.
One of those things.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And y'all at home, you guys get to be. This is gonna be a treat. This is the first time I've ever done this. This is gonna be a world premiere. We have a big episode that's coming on next week. It's gonna be towards the end of the week. So we're gonna have a premiere of a preview of the person that's gonna be on the show. So if you guys want to stick around for that, before I go, I want to say thank you guys for being on the watching the show at home. My name's Fireblaster. Follow me at Fireblaster65 on Twitter. My YouTube is right here. You guys could go ahead and give me a follow on that if I could post it in the damn chat. There it is. And stick around for the world premiere of this hype video. Thank you guys for coming by. Thank you again. And here it is. Enjoy the video.
Behind him, another Hadouken. Click keeps on jumping in response to those, and Icon has adapted.
Oh,
Goodbye.
no. We'll see you later. Hey, get him out of here. Get him out of here. He's done.